What's going on, Bulls Nation? Peck here. We got a live CHGO Bulls pregame for y'all coming up right around the corner. Bulls, second night of a back-to-back, taking on Central Division foe Indiana Pacers for the first time this season. Bulls offense has been on an absolute tear over their last 7 games, in which they've gone 4-3. Pacers and Haliburton, meanwhile, have struggled to get out of the gate. We're talking about that next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls pregame, presented by Coors Light. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That is Big Dave. Bam! BAWL Sports. Man in the middle, 4-time champ. Uncle Will Perdue, Will_Perdue 32. And sitting in the controller's seat, queen of the controls, the one and only Katie Dovey. What's going on, Katie? Feeling good?
Hi.
Feeling good? Ooh.
I'm here.
That almost sounded like a couple of notes of singing, just for a second there. Well, you kind of held that note?
Is this how we're starting the day together?
Yes, this is how we're starting.
Absolutely.
As Niall said in the comments, we're going streaking. We got to be uplifting one another. Bulls have a shot at their first 3-game winning streak of the season tonight, taking on the Pacers. Gentlemen, who is stoked? Uncle Will, are you stoked?
I got a question for you, though.
That is not an answer to the question he just said.
No,
What's the question?
I'm stoked, but I'm concerned.
Oh, okay. Concerned. Okay.
See, Big Dave, share something with me.
Talk to me, Will.
Enlighten me.
Come on with it. What's up, Adam?
So, I mean, I haven't been here long enough, but I kind of feel like that, Peck's kind of teetering on confidence and arrogance now.
Okay.
Confidence and arrogance, how?
Let's delve into this.
Well, it's just, it's like when he gets pulled over by a police officer, does he look at him and go, hey, I'm Peck?
Okay.
Do you know who I am? I'm Peck.
No, come on.
Let's see the last time he's been pulled over by a police officer.
That sounds like something a Jerry Reinsdorf hired manager would do, not me.
Does that make you feel better? Seems over to me.
Listen, I understand.
I'm Tony Larissa. Do you know who I am?
I'm a Hall of Fame baseball person.
I mean, you asked for it.
And I'm not as sick as you drunk I am.
You literally asked for it.
I mean, I understand people on this platform when he goes, yo, I'm Peck. They know exactly who it is.
Sure. And when he gets pulled over, you want to know, does he say that to just police officers? Do you think it goes further than that?
How often do you think I get pulled over, Will?
That's my next question. When do you think the last time he's been pulled over by a police officer?
So
I'm going to say it's been a while.
It's what I used to call my wife. Is he one lane Matt, doesn't move? Just
one lane Matt.
No, I'm an excellent driver, and I get mad at drivers who suck at driving. So, I use the left lane to pass, and then I get back in the right lane when I'm done passing. The proper way to drive.
So you don't get on the Kennedy and go 4 lanes in the left side and drive 55 and be like, what is wrong with these people?
No. That's what, generally speaking, old people and bad drivers do. I was.
Do you want to define
this absolute moron getting on 9094 coming to the office today? Sat at a green left arrow for like the entirety of it being green. Finally realized.
You know why? They were looking at their phone.
Of course.
Come on, you moron.
Morons everywhere.
All right, but I'm sorry to get off base here, but I'm stoked, but I'm concerned.
I know. You used the phrase playing with fire when we were texting earlier today about what you wanted to talk about and the fact that this Bulls team is stringing some wins together. Explain the phrase playing with fire, Will, for those out home who might not know what you mean.
Well, let's expand on how you opened. They're 5-4 in their last 9.
Whee!
That's actually a winning record.
It is.
And I actually, don't get me wrong, I'd like to see that. But I'm concerned because now we're 10-13.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at this schedule, okay, and the fact that as I texted you about, they're hitting teams at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
San Antonio, perfect example. No Wemby.
Yep.
Okay. Pacers tonight, banged up. 76ers, like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. Then the Hornets, tank.
Yep.
Raptors, tank. Now you have a stretch of 6 games where you go Celtics, Bucks, Hawks, Bucks. But then guess what's around the corner? Hornets, Wizards, Spurs, Wizards. Kings are not that good right now. Pelicans are not that good right now.
Pelicans are trash.
You're going to be in the middle of January with the possibility of hovering around 500.
That's what this team does, Will.
Yeah.
And as of right now, correct me if I'm wrong, there's 7 teams that have worse records than them.
I believe so.
I believe you're right. I'm just looking at it. So
maybe not even.
And I hate to go down this road
3,
here,
4,
but
5, 6.
Bulls are currently tied with Brooklyn with 10 wins in the East. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 East teams with fewer wins, and 3 teams in the West with fewer wins. Portland, New Orleans, Utah, Sacramento also with 10 wins.
And they play one of those 6 teams tonight in the Indiana Pacers.
yeah, but you got to finish, just to be exact, you have to finish with one of the 10 worst records to keep the draft pick, right?
Yes. If the Bulls do not finish with one of the top 6 worst records, then they will have varying mathematical possibilities to convey their pick because teams below them in those lottery standings will jump above them.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls could still be the 10th worst team record-wise and keep their pick if they stay at 10 or jump up in the lottery. But they also, if they stay at 10, have a greater than 20% chance of being leapfrogged and conveying that pick to San Antonio because it will then fall to 11th or beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's too good. That's too big of a number.
I agree. Letting yourselves have a 20% chance of sending a pick in this draft class to San Antonio is malpractice, in my opinion.
Because you think about it, you need to play Lonzo to prove that he's healthy and can give a team 18 to 22 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Got to play Zach to prove that he's healthy and can help a borderline playoff team become a contender.
Mm-hmm.
Got to play Vooch because he deserves to play. Last night was a perfect example. And he's also on track to make the All-Star team. And I guarantee you I keep saying this, he's got a clause in his contract that will probably make him an extra anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 for being on the All-Star team.
Mm.
So you're gonna take that away from him?
I don't think they can.
So how do you play all those guys and then still play well but lose?
Well, so Rob in the comments said there's still way too much time left, injuries and trades that can change the outcome. And I do agree. I just did the quick math. At 10-13, the Bulls are on pace for a 35.5 win season. And as you pointed out, Vegas had them around 27 or 28 wins before the season began. The Bulls can still, if they manage to execute some trades, maybe more injuries that they deal with, but trading off some of those veteran pieces, whether it be Lonzo.
Yeah, but even when guys are out, they're still winning. Kobe didn't play.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
Kobe hasn't played the last 2, and they've won both of them.
But they've been bum slaying. You mentioned they caught the Spurs at the right time. They also played the G League version of the Nets. They played the Jordan Poole-less Wizards, who are impressively tanking. And they played the Hawks, who are bums, who the Bulls beat all the time. Those are their last 4 wins. And yes, they've got some gauntlet teams in the East that you mentioned coming up on their schedule, but then another soft chunk of games after that. The Bulls, if they keep playing this way offensively, will be able to beat bad teams and even on some nights mediocre teams.
Yeah. They're playing with fire. The reason I guess other people, to come with what you're saying, they're like the guys are still out and they're still winning. They're bum slaying, but those 2 main guys are still there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest difference of all of this is Zach is still there and Vooch is still there through all of this. And they have been outstanding and amazing. We saw what Vooch did yesterday. We just talked about him being an all-star, getting that bump and things like that. So he's been incredible. Zach almost had a triple-double yesterday. He was an assist shy and a rebound shy. I believe that would have been his first ever in his career to get a triple-double. So they are the two main things of why the Bulls engine is going like it is. Also, the Bulls are shooting astronomically well, like lights out. They're hitting everything. That's going to fall down at some point in time. That's just, they're not going to continue this torrid pace. It'll even out at some point in time along with that, and will match up with that defense, which is porous, because right now they're just outscoring teams and running them to death and doing it like that. But when your two main stars are carrying you, but they're also the two main stars that you have to showcase, but they're also the two main stars that you might want to get rid of, you get what you get at 10 and 13 right now, man.
Well, listen, to make both your points, okay?
Thank you.
Bulls had a season high 139 points versus the Spurs.
I was speaking jive.
Okay, but can you speak jive?
Yes,
Why, yes, I can.
Right on.
Jack talk jive very well.
Marking the 7th straight game with at least 115 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Plus, they shot a season high 58% at San Antonio, marking their 7th straight game of shooting 50% or better.
Mm-hmm.
Just wild.
That's the longest streak in the NBA.
That's wild, Will.
And I understand that's going to drop off a little bit, but to Peck's point, as they continue to get better with this offense, the higher percentage shots are there.
Mm-hmm.
And if they actually start playing a little smarter and start taking these layups instead of kicking it out to the three-point line, I will say this. They could be still shooting that torrid percentage. I was listening to the radio broadcast last night.
Swerst?
Yeah, Swersk. It wasn't.
Swersk and Bill.
Wennington was not doing it. It was, why am I drawing a blank?
Randy Brown.
Hummel?
Robbie Hummel.
Oh, I love Robbie Hummel.
And Hummel even made a comment about why do the players in this league as a whole continue to pass up wide open layups? Points are points.
Yeah.
And eventually, teams will start figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I don't know, man. It's scary.
I agree. They're definitely playing with fire.
It's I mean, playing with fire and scary, and also at the same time, you have to be impressed with Billy Donovan completely revamping this team's offense.
Well, I talked to
you send DeMar DeRozan away, and you're playing a fast. You're playing with the fastest paced offense, possessions per 48 wise in the NBA. Bulls still holding that number one spot, and you are also a top 5 team in 3-point attempt rate and 3-point efficiency. Like, they just did that essentially overnight. I mean, I know they went to training camp, but this is a completely different offense than the one we watched the past 3 seasons. And they are doing it this well. They deserve credit for it.
Yes.
They're playing with fire.
Mm-hmm.
They're holding a loaded gun and pointing at their own big toe.
Sure.
But it's impressive that they're this good offensively.
Yeah.
But I talked to one of the Bulls beat writers, which there could be many, but they've said that maybe, but no.
Mm-hmm.
But they've said there's been a couple general managers out there that have commented this might be Billy's best coaching job yet.
I've heard all he does is chew gum, Will. I don't know. No, obviously I'm being sarcastic. All those the Billy haters who are obsessed with his gum chewing habit out there. It's a sizable group. Real quick, I see Chubbs82 throws a super chat in the comments. Shout out to you saying, awesome to meet you, Big Dave, at the Packers tailgate. I'm sorry, do you mean the Bears tailgate? Why would you say Packers? Walking and talking, I'm actually going to the second one. Let me know if you're going. I'll buy you a drink, go Bulls. I assume it was the Bears-Packers game.
Yes, the Bears-Packers game. Oh, and tailgate.
I never want to see that word in my Bulls show chat. Never. Come on now.
Well, let me holler at Chubbs since Chubbs said me.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Chubbs. It was great meeting you there at the tailgate.
Is that like Chubbs
definitely
from the
hanging
movie?
out. We definitely walked and talked and had a lot of conversation about football and then Bulls basketball.
Did he have a wooden hand?
Both of y'all.
They're making a second one, right? The long-awaited Happy Gilmore sequel.
Yes, they are. They are
go.
making the second one.
But-
It'll be on Netflix.
Hey,
Chubbs won't be there.
I was gonna say, I
real
don't
quick,
think-
what's the best line in that movie?
Oh my God. Oh, man.
Come on now.
I'm a big fan of the old lady in the retirement home who says, "My fingers hurt."
Yeah.
And then Ben Stiller says, "Well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping too."
I'm a big fan of drink a warm glass of shut the hell up. I'm a big fan of that one.
Come on now.
I'm a big fan of Niner, huh?
I mean,
You're fired.
Why? What's yours?
I'd ask Katie that question, but she's like, I haven't seen that movie.
Right.
So
I have no idea what you're talking about.
no, my favorite line is "The Price is Right."
Yes, well done.
Heat up a burger.
Yes. I don't want a piece. I want the whole thing.
I mean, it's like that movie is just iconic line after iconic
Believe
line.
that belongs to Mr. Gilmore.
Oh my goodness. All right, we got to do a quick shout out to our friends at Coors Light. Then we'll come back and dive more into this Bulls offense that's coming along and the Pacers who are on the struggle bus.
Beer, embracing chill. It's a cool thing to do. Matt Peck does it. Keeps him at a 6 temporarily. But he embraces that chill. Because between work, social media, and the choices life throws our way, it's no wonder we're more worked up. Coors Light celebrates rising above and choosing that chill mindset. Why not turn that rained out barbecue into the Will to Go Gottlieb and Will Perdue 13th annual karaoke house party? It will be in my backyard because you won't be allowed in my home. Or, after a tough loss, settle scores with an ice-cold peace offering. Make the choice to choose chill, and then reach for a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment because when those mountains turn blue, oh yes, you know what to do. Cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged for a smoother finish. So when you embrace the chill mindset, crack open a frosty cold Coors Light. It is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Yes. Make the most out of the times to choose chill. Choose Coors Light. Get it delivered straight to your door via Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Basketball. To CoorsLight.com/CHGO Basketball. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden,
Colorado.
Boom.
Bow.
CHGO Bulls pregame rolling along. Thanks for joining us. And as Katie has asked you to do kindly in the chat, hit that like button if you haven't done it yet.
Did she?
It wasn't that kind.
That don't sound like,
no.
yeah. Don't sound like
Bulls starting
Duffy.
5 tonight. Giddy, Kobe back in there after sitting out last night with the ankle he's been dealing with. Zach LaVine did pop up on the injury report also, but is probable. I believe it was back tightness is what he was diagnosed with. But he gets the green light, as is Ayo Dosunmu in the starting lineup again, coming off his first NBA triple-double. Shout out to Ayo for that.
Yeah.
And coming off a 39-point night, all-star, Nikola Vucevic.
He's an all-star.
So this collection of players who have been playing pretty well on the offensive end, you rattled off some of their impressive offensive stats, Mr. Perdue. How about this, Katie? If you have their stats in this last 7-game stretch, in which they have gone 4-3, they are scoring 129.9 points per game in a 7-game span. That is bonkers. First in the NBA, by the way. Also have the NBA's best offensive rating, 5th best net rating at plus 5.4, the best true shooting percentage at 65, and the league's best effective field goal percentage at 62.5 over that stretch of 7 games. Wow. That is not just like, hey, the Bulls, like, they are the elite offense of the NBA over the last 7 games.
That's so crazy.
It is wild.
Completely wild. And the funniest thing to me is the 4-3 record. Because I think when I read all those numbers, I'm like, oh, man, they were killing teams. Oh, 4-3. They're still kind of teetering because that defense.
Yes.
Yuck.
The lowest point out total in that 7-game stretch was 119.
Impressive.
In a loss.
Impressive.
It's high point wins or high point losses.
Yeah.
It's what the Bulls are this season.
And it's wild because these have not been the Bulls at all. And definitely a Bulls team that we wanted to see these previous seasons. Shout out to General Patton as well for teaching these guys how to shoot, man. Because, I mean, they are confident when they're taking those shots. And and the main guys I can think of right now are Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry. Julian Phillips from that baseline, he has found something right there. And he's like, oh, I'm comfortable with this. I'm going to be shooting these all day long. And he shoots very well from there. Dalen Terry, his form is so much better when he takes that shot. He's still not hitting them at a high clip or anything like that. But you don't feel as bad or like wishing on a star as much as you were when you're like, oh, please don't let this be thrown into the stands. Like, let's make it look okay. And he's playing so much better because of it. And I think it's affecting his whole game. And when those shots will start to go down, as you know, as a 4-time champion, when those shots start to hit, all facets of your game kind of open up because it opens up that confidence that you didn't even know that you probably had.
Oh, you're exactly right. I mean, that basket looks, as big as the ocean, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
But, also modest as well as he's shooting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Patton and his crews had an unbelievable effect on these guys. But I think you also need to credit the players as well because they put in the work.
Sure.
Have you noticed who's missing that they've been winning these games?
Patrick Williams.
I was going to say, when he's out there, I don't really notice him. But, yeah. Just taking shots.
Which Billy did have an update on Pat, who is, again, out tonight. I believe Billy called him doubtful for their game against the Sixers at noon on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like still, trigger warning, ramping up and coming closer to a return, but not tonight and probably not Sunday. But, yes, I did have that thought myself, Will, in this stretch of games where they've been playing 500 basketball and the offense is really humming.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive ghost of Patrick Williams is not out there. Fairy dust.
Fairy dust is woozy.
Very
obviously we need
stuff.
to call Ghostbusters.
Hey, for real.
And whether it's Dalen Terry, whether it's Modest getting more there's in this Bulls offense that requires a lot of running.
Yeah.
As Billy said, run, we'll have fun. High motor guys, and all of them, as you were just you were touching on Dalen a second ago, Dave. No one who's out there right now is afraid to shoot.
Yeah.
No one out there right now seems afraid to make an offensive decision in this fast-paced offense.
Yeah.
They are just reading and reacting, and oftentimes not even letting their opponent's defense get set.
Yeah.
They run right through it.
Yeah, they're trusting each other out there. Everybody, and this is kind of how they've always been mentally, is they are for the other guy. They've always felt like they were kind of, really liked each other. And so now you see that on the floor when you're seeing the ball touch everybody's hands. They don't care who gets that shot. They're happy with Vooch scoring 39 just as much as they're happy with Dalen Terry getting 13. Like, they're very excited for everybody to have success. You see it when the bench is going crazy for those guys, even the guys who aren't playing a lot. And the Javon Carter, who's honestly been a great teammate. And even though he can't find time out there on the floor, he's always the first one up supporting those guys. So that's also how you can contribute if you're not getting a lot of playing time. But even Torrey Craig and all those guys, and Modest and all those guys, are always up off the bench cheering on guys. You see Zach, and Stacey King talked about it yesterday, saw Zach smiling and just being happy and pumping his fist and to be out there because they're actually winning games. As much as we want something different, like, players should always feel that way. They shouldn't be worried about lotteries, and it's not their job to worry about those things. Their job is to go out there and win ball games. That's what they get a check for, and they're doing a really good job of that, along with the execution that you're talking about, Matt.
And as Chubbs just pointed out with yet another super chat, appreciate you, saying they're playing together more. They're playing a team brand of offense for sure, saying just maybe Zach is coming around. Maybe I'm wrong, but can he be a team guy? I think we've talked about that a lot. With Zach in the predicament he's in this season, not being the team not finding a trade for him in the offseason, and will probably find it challenging to find a trade for him midseason because of the contract, he does appear to be someone who's bought in. And if his stat line last night, doesn't prove that, I don't know what does.
True.
He's definitely on his best behavior because he's been asked periodically about certain things, right? And he kind of makes little comments to remind you of what he could be doing, like shot hunting, points, stat padding, things of that nature. But he's not doing it, and because of that, he might be playing his best team basketball since he's been here. Quite honestly.
All right, guys, let's shift and talk about the Pacers for a second here, who, by the way, have a starting five tonight of Tyrese Haliburton, Andrew Nimhard, who has been battling an injury but does get the green light, Benedict Mathurin, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner in that intimidating Pacers front court. But this Pacers team has struggled. They are currently below the Bulls in the Eastern Conference standings. That's right, with a record of 9-14. Losers of 4 straight coming into this one, 3-7 in their last 10, and they are in the Bulls' house tonight. The Pacers just 2-11 on the road so far this season. And it is wild when you compare what their offense is doing out of the gate this year compared to last year. In case y'all forgot, if you will, Katie, and have those numbers side by side, the Pacers had the second best offense in the NBA last season. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were elite offensively, 121 offensive rating. They also played the second fastest pace on offense. They took care of the ball for the most part, sixth best turnover percentage. They were tied with Boston for the best effective field goal percentage across the NBA. 3-point attempt rate, bottom third at 20th, but made a respectable efficiency on those threes, 37.5%, just inside the top 10. This season, very different story. Currently just the 18th offensive ranked team in the NBA. Their pace has slowed a bit, 99.9 possessions per 48. Their effective field goal percentage has dipped. They're turning the ball over more. 3-point attempt rate is almost exactly where it was last year, but because everyone across the league is taking more threes, they've fallen in those rankings, and their percentage on those threes has dipped a bit from last season. But, I mean, wow. What happened to the Pacers?
I mean, well, I got an idea, and he's bald. But when your best player is struggling like that, it's going to affect your team, and especially when your best player is your point guard, it's going to affect every single one on that team. And he came into the season, and I'm talking about Tyrese Haliburton, obviously. He came into the season, I mean, just struggling, and he couldn't, as Will Perdue might say, he couldn't hit the broad side of a barn, and he couldn't shoot, and everything else was off for him. His passing was off. His turnovers went up. Like, those things really occurred for a guy that was being considered as one of the best point guards in the league, not the conference, the entire league.
He was third-team All-NBA last season.
Dude, this was a conference finals team.
Yeah.
Like, this is who they were last year. And to fall this drastically has been surprising. And they just signed the big money when they gave it to Siakam, because they were like, oh, we have our two guys now. It's time for us to get out and do our thing. Now, Siakam is doing Siakam stuff, but everybody else around him it's just been a real complete struggle for him, Will.
It really has. They not shot the ball well. I mean, serious injury, like season-ending injuries has been unfortunate. But I think the one thing I can say about tonight, because, somebody just put up Gio, 25th worst defense.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is going to be a high scoring. Both teams will probably be over 120.
That's what he said.
And what was the over-under in Vegas?
What, for point total on tonight's game?
Yes.
I actually didn't look, but somebody in the comments earlier said 235 plus. I would say, honestly, it might be even like 239.5. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll try to find it real quick.
But the Pacers were not a great defensive team last season either.
No.
You think, hey, maybe bringing in Siakam, their defense, ticks up a
little bit,
and especially as Siakam gets more established on this Pacers unit. Yeah. But that has not been the case. 25th ranked defense.
Yeah, Haliburton. Boy.
You mentioned Haliburton, Dave, and how much he might be responsible for the Pacers offense as a whole struggling, because he is what drives them. He is their engine. Yeah. If you look at Hallie's splits from last season, again, an all-star season, a third-team All-NBA season to this season, his scoring is down, but not huge, just 2.5 points a game from 20 to 17.5. But his shooting splits, there you see the big drops. He's shooting just 41. Great picture choice, Katie.
Well done.
41.5% from the field.
Woo!
He is taking, I believe, around 8 threes a game and only hitting them at a 33.3% clip, whereas he was 36.5 last season. Free throws is still the same. And also, maybe it's because, he's not slinging as many gorgeous dimes, or maybe it's because his teammates also are struggling with their shots, but he was a league-leading 10.9 assists per game last season. That has also dipped a bit to 8.4. But I think for the most part, it's just those shooting splits.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it starts for him. It's what put him in that level of elite conversation, was the insane shooting. We talked about it yesterday when I said that when we were talking about the next 6 teams the Bulls have to play, and how they play all these teams tough. And I specifically pointed out Tyrese Haliburton hitting that game winner on the Bulls when we were here on that Sunday afternoon, I believe. And he was that kind of guy, hitting those kind of shots. And now it's like, dude, I don't know who you are. Like, who are you? Like, you forget that you're Tyrese Haliburton and you're really, really good. I don't know if doing too much in the offseason, certain things like that can happen for a player, like just doing too much, maybe some partying. I still remember when I saw him with those 3 girls in Vegas, like a few days before the season started. I was like, oh, no, he in trouble. I was like, bro, he in trouble. That is too much to be going on, bro. Too close to the season for that.
Well, people were talking about confidence, but what people don't understand is even at that level, confidence is very fragile.
Yes.
Because it's not just about confidence. It's about surpassing expectations.
Yeah.
And because of what he did last year, he probably felt a little pressure coming in this year because he's got it. How do I do better than what I did last year? Because you want to show improvement, right? And, I mean, what he did last year was impressive. The Olympics, I don't know. I mean, I hope he gets it back because I enjoy watching him play, but
yeah,
I just hope he doesn't get it back tonight.
And that's what I'm saying, Will. Like, he plays so well that all that praise and all those things are heaped upon you. Like, he was showing up on WWE wrestling events, bro. Like, all that stuff was heaped upon him. He was having a ball out here in the offseason. And he was like, oh, there's a season.
Well, I mean, as a spectator or a participant?
A participant.
Like Dennis Rodman hitting people with folding chairs?
A participant, yes, absolutely. He and Jalen Brunson had a little rowdy dow, stare down at each other, got in the ring, pulled out a chair. It was a whole thing. But Tyrese Haliburton was having a summer and enjoying himself, and you got to show and prove it every single year, man. There's work that goes into that. So, yeah, hope it doesn't happen tonight that he kicks it back off, but yeah.
Before we get out of here, Katie ran a poll in the comments. Who do you think the best driver is on the set?
Kyle Williams is stupid.
Will.
Oh, it's me.
I saw that comment from Kyle too. Will, Katie, Dave, or Matt? Final results, Will getting 30% of the vote.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, 25%.
Mm-hmm.
Big Dave, 23%.
Mm-hmm.
And me with 20%.
Mm. I mean, no, it's clearly me.
I do want to say.
Everyone who didn't vote for me is wrong.
Yeah.
I do want to say this changed hands so many times. Like every time I looked over, there was a new leader. Matt was never leading, but every one of us, every other one of us had a turn leading this one. So very contested.
Oh no, it's me. I couldn't even tell you the last time I got a ticket. Like it's me.
I did get pulled over somewhat recently, but it's because I had a taillight out and didn't know it.
Oh, I still get pulled over. That ain't got nothing to do with my driving.
You get pulled over and just manage to sweet talk yourself out of any hypothetical ticket.
I'm just telling you, it has nothing to do with my driving. And I'm going to leave you right there.
Well,
not one thing to do with my driving.
Yeah.
Maybe the person driving, but nothing to do with my driving.
So in other words, you said the cop walked up to the car, you rolled down the window, and he went, bow!
Yeah. Listen, the last thing I want a cop to do when he walks up to me is go, bow! That's the last thing I want, Will. Absolutely not.
But as opposed to me saying to an officer, as Perdue suggested, do you know who I am? Decent odds that the police officer, upon Dave rolling down the window, would be like, oh my God, you're Big Dave.
Right.
So everybody knows Big Dave.
I'm going to need the ring, though, next time. Let me get the pinky ring on. That will help it out. That'll help it a little bit. Who'd you steal that from?
Kyle said Peck has road rage. It's not road rage. I just get angry at people who suck at driving who are in my way.
It's the definition of a road rage.
I don't run people off the road. Hey. I don't flip the bird unless they are truly doing incompetent, dangerous shit.
It's not road rage. It's life rage, okay? It does not stay on the road.
Hey, I think we need to start something here.
Which is?
With Peck.
Okay.
I think we need to provide him a unlimited supply of hats.
Okay.
So that even when he's in the car,
okay,
if somebody does something moronic,
you can throw a hat at them?
Yes. Just throw it out the window. Doesn't necessarily have to throw it.
If I started chucking hats out the windows of my moving vehicle on busy Chicago streets, I feel like that could cause other car accidents and that I would be legally and physically liable for those.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a great idea.
He's right.
I'm not the smartest guy, but that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, but I think it'd be
these are safe.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty
worst
cool.
thing I've ever done is hit the TV or one of these lights here.
I mean, you did almost hit the producer one time.
Yeah. But I think it'd be pretty cool to be driving down the Kennedy and see a hat on the side of the road and be like, oh, Peck got pissed.
Someday. But then the other consequence there is, but like you said, if I just need a hat bucket of hats that, no offense to the hats that are in this bucket, I wouldn't care about losing because I'm always wearing a hat all the time.
Sure.
But if it was a hat that I was wearing because it's in my hat collection, I'm not throwing it out my window through my moving car.
That's fair.
Because that's me kissing that hat goodbye.
You do yell at people. I see it. You do yell at people when you're driving, for sure, right? That happens.
Oh yeah,
Katie, that happens for you too, right? Yelling at people when you're driving.
Yeah, of course. All the time.
mostly just to myself.
Will you yelling at people when you're driving?
Oh yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
I definitely do not. So there you go.
I mean, takes a lot to get yells out of Big Dave.
Takes a lot. You better earn it, baby.
All it takes for me is a lack of a turn signal. For the love of God, people, your cars have turn signals. Use them.
Shout
Morons.
out Julie. It's like therapy.
Verbal abuse? That's right, Kyle. That's right. Tom, every bad driver is Josh Giddey to Peck. I've never seen Josh Giddey drive. Don't know.
That's a great point. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Those are two different problems. Two different big problems, but two different problems.
Yeah, true.
All right, we're past 7 o'clock hour. We got to get out of here.
Yeah. I've been in the car with him though. He's fine. He's good.
But it's not just the car. I'm learning a lot about this man.
Oh, man. Welcome to the show.
He's got a lot to unpack.
Hang around long enough.
Yes. Yes.
All right, y'all. We will be right back here for post-game live following Bulls Pacers. Let's see how many points they managed to score collectively tonight. 248.5 was the over-under. You know what? Give me the over. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun.
There it is.
Hit the like button on your way out, and we will talk to you in a couple hours. You're going to be good.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.